Alrighty, I'm pretty sure everybody's heard about this trans guy by now. So here we are on the InfoWars. Bring back asylums. It's time to talk about trans fatigue in America. Yep, well, let's get into it. Transgenderism is not civil rights. No, it's a mental illness. It's a social engineering experiment. Yeah, I'll agree with that point. It's a social experiment to create more division. The LGBT movement is not a struggle for equal rights. It's a covert war for political control. Yeah, political control through division. The agenda of people involved in the spheres of trans activism are radical zealots hell-bent on the destruction of their enemies by any means necessary. And if you believe in logic, objective reality, biological science, and moral imperative, then you are one of their enemies. Yeah, because people who have logic tend to think for themselves. They don't want people who think for themselves. They want people who consume mainstream media, who listen to their every word. That's probably why this trans person went all, how do I say, pew-pewy. Now we're going to shift over to the Gateway Pundit, and this is his mother. According to court documents obtained by Fox News, Mary Grace Westman transitioned her son and changed his name. Yep, it's like what, 9 times out of 10, it's always the mother? According to court documents, at 17 years old, Westman formally had his legal name changed to Robin because doc states the minor child identifies as female. He was probably pushed into that by his mother. He probably was talking about how he liked dolls or he liked dresses, and rather than getting him mental help, she decided to appease his mental illness, or she wanted what is it called, social points for having a trans kid. People talk about how they want to protect trans kids. Well, if you want to protect trans kids, you get them mental help. Because there's something not right in their brain. Some kind of chemical imbalance. And that RFK Jr. guy, he talks about it. How there's all these chemicals in the food and they mess with the chemical impulses in the brain. Here's an example I found. BPA in plastic is a chemical used primarily in the production of polycarbonate plastics and epoxy resins, which are found in a wide range of consumer products. It is commonly present in items such as single-use food containers, plastic baby bottles, water bottles, DVDs, receipts, medical supplies, and the protective linings of metal, food, and beverage cans, pop cans. BPA can leach into food and beverages, especially when containers are exposed to high temperature or acidic conditions, leading to human exposure primarily through diet. While some plastic types, like those marked with recycling codes, PET or HDPE and 5PP, are generally considered BPA-free, items labeled with code 7 may contain BPA, and the presence of BPA in plastics is a concern due to its classification as an endocrine disruptor, which can interfere with hormone systems. So yeah, this trans shooter guy, his hormones are probably switched from male to female or split between the middle. But because he's constantly told that there's nothing wrong with him, and that it's society's fault, what does he do? He takes his frustrations, his mental problems out on society. So in my opinion, if the media and his mother didn't appease his mental illness and instead said, there's something mentally wrong with you, it's not society's fault, there's just something that's not firing right in your brain, he probably wouldn't have gone all pew-pewy. Alrighty, so finishing up the articles, the FBI is investigating the mass yeeting as a domestic terror attack. Good. And a hate crime against Catholics. Also good. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara who has repeatedly stated he just can't figure out the motive behind the anti-Catholic transgender shooters mass shooting. He hates Catholics, probably because he was told that they're opposing his right to use the women's bathroom, maybe? If I'm remembering correct, during the election, people on the left were complaining that if Trump got elected, he would peel back trans rights or erase trans rights or something. I think it had something to do with trans people wanting to use the opposite sex bathroom. Trans men wanting to use the female bathroom. So finishing the video off, yeah, they should bring back asylums. But that being said, would they view transgenderism as a mental illness? Probably not. Anywho, take care out there in clown world.